So, India's latest budget is making a huge bet on one of its oldest, most foundational industries, textiles. In this explainer, we're going to break down how this new focus is designed to transform the entire value chain, from the raw fiber all the way to the latest fashion.
So why all the fuss? Well, to really get it, you've got to understand just how massive India's textile sector already is. I mean, we're talking about a global powerhouse. India's #1 in cotton and jute, and a close second in things like silk and man-made fibers, like visco and polyester. This isn't just an industry, it's a cornerstone of the economy.
But beyond the global stats, the real story here, it's about people. This industry is the second biggest employer in the entire country. We're talking about over 45 million people. It provides livelihoods for families and entire communities, especially out in rural areas. So yeah, this is way more than just fabric.
All right, so we've set the stage. Let's really dig into the numbers and see why the government is putting so much energy into textiles right at this moment. And this is where it gets really interesting. When you add it all up, the impact on the national economy is huge. The sector contributes a solid 2% to India's GDP, a huge 11% of its manufacturing output, that's what we call GVA, or gross value added, and nearly 9% of all its exports. That's some serious economic muscle. So what's the plan to make this vital sector even stronger? Well, it all comes down to a really comprehensive 5-point master plan. The government has rolled out what they're calling the Integrated Program for the Textile Sector. Think of it like 5 key threads they're using to weave together a stronger, more modern industry for the future. And here they are, the 5 pillars of the whole plan. First up, the National Fiber Scheme, basically becoming more self-reliant. Then, expanding textile production and creating jobs. Third, a big focus on supporting traditional handlooms and handicrafts, super important. Fourth is the Tex Eco initiative, pushing for sustainability. And finally, Samarth 2.0, which is all about upskilling the workforce. You can see, it really covers all the bases.
Okay, a plan is one thing, but how do you actually make it happen? Well, the next step is all about building a truly modern industry, and that means upgrading both the physical infrastructure and the financial systems that support it.
A huge piece of this puzzle is thinking big. We're talking about building these new mega textile parks. The idea is to create these massive all-in-one hubs where you can do everything, from spinning and weaving right through to shipping the final product. It's all about creating insane efficiency.
And hey, this isn't just some far-off plan. It's already in motion. The PM MITRA scheme has already approved 7 of these parks. We're seeing investment MOUs worth over 27,000 crore rupees. And the expectation is to create something like 300,000 new jobs. The wheels are definitely turning.
But look, it can't all be about these giant parks, right? What about the smaller businesses? Well, the budget has a plan for them too, giving a major boost to small and medium-sized companies by making it easier for them to get paid. And the key to this whole thing is a system called TREDS.
So you're probably asking, what on earth is TREDS? It's actually pretty cool. Think of it as a digital platform that helps small businesses get their cash way faster. Instead of waiting, say, 30, 60, or 90 days for a big company to pay an invoice, they can basically sell that invoice on this platform and get their money right away. For a small business, that's an absolute game changer.
All right, so that's the domestic game plan. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. How is India planning to take this strength and really make a mark on the global stage?
And you know what? The export numbers are already starting to tell a really positive story. Even with a pretty tough global market out there, India's textile and apparel exports are climbing. It just shows how resilient and competitive the sector is becoming.
Yeah, just look at the data. Exports went from about $35.8 billion in fiscal year 24 up to nearly $38 billion in 25. That's a solid jump, and it's a good sign that these new strategies are starting to bear fruit.
But that's just the start. India is thinking way bigger. The government's Vision 2030 sets this incredibly bold goal to triple textile exports. We're talking about going from around 3 lakh crore rupees today to a massive 9 lakh crore. To pull that off, it's going to take a huge push on both manufacturing at home and outreach to the world. And a huge part of that global push comes down to trade deals. You can see here the Commerce Minister, Piyush Goyal, pointing out that a free trade agreement with the European Union, well, that could be a total game changer. It would open up this enormous, high-value market for Indian textiles by making them more competitive.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. What's the grand vision here? Let's quickly recap the core ideas that tie this whole strategy together.
And this really sums it all up beautifully. The entire strategy is built on these 4 key pillars: creating jobs for millions, driving exports and bringing in revenue, supporting rural communities where so much of this work happens, and doing it all in a sustainable way. Every single policy we've talked about is designed to strengthen these 4 goals.
So the big takeaway here is that this isn't just a tweak or a minor adjustment. This is a coordinated, all-in effort to take an entire industry to the next level. Which leaves us with a big question, right? With this renewed focus and ambitious plan, can India truly weave its way to becoming the undisputed textile leader on the world stage? I guess only time will tell.